What's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading. Let's talk about the stock market. Let's talk about FTEK, some of the hot stocks of the day. Let's talk about how we find stocks and how we find the hottest ones and weed those out from ones that are popping up in our scanner that we don't necessarily want to trade. So I'm going to talk about my process and kind of what I'm seeing whenever I'm looking at stocks. I'm just kind of going to think out loud and talk about what it is that I see whenever I'm clicking on stocks that pop up in my scanner. Maybe that will help you guys. Maybe you can share in the comments what your process is, things that I left out or things that you notice whenever you're looking at stocks. And we can kind of share back and forth. Maybe you guys can help me out a little bit. Over 1,500 subscribers. Not much in YouTube world, but compared to the everyday world and me, it's crazy to me anyway to think about talking to 1,500 people. If I was standing here in a room and there's 1,500 people in here, I'd be peeing in my little pants. I'd have to change my little pee pants because, I'd be way nervous talking to that many people. But when you look at it in terms of YouTube, not that many. But if you think about 1,500 people standing in an audience and me talking to them, that'd be a lot. So I'm pretty excited about it anyway. It's quite a bit to me. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. What we're looking at now, this is the screen that I'm looking at when I'm finding stocks, when I'm looking for a stock to trade. This is kind of what I'm looking at. Then these screens down here are usually what I use if I want to zoom in on something. I typically don't trade more than one stock at a time. My skill level is not of such that I can split my mind and be fully committed into multiple stocks at the same time. So for me, I'm usually looking at one stock in particular that's perked my interest, and then I'm focusing on that one stock and that setup. And like I've said in other videos, I typically scalp. I'm mostly a scalper, so every once in a while I might take a swing trade. And I do have a 401k with long-term investments, but for the most part, what I do, what I enjoy, my mindset is geared towards scalping. Why is that? Well, you have to look at your own personality and figure out what works for you. That's something that you're only going to figure out as time goes on. I remember, I'm making a video, baby. Yes, can you close my door, please? Thank you, love. Scalping is my jam. Scalping's my jam. So I'm just looking for certain setups, and I want to hold them for a short period of time. So for instance, if I was looking at this stock here, and to get back to try to tie this all the way back, come full circle to what the point of this video was, how do I know if it's a stock I'm going to trade or not when the stock is hitting the scanner? So when a stock hits the scanner, what I do is click on it, and as you'll see over here, this is my scanner. It's scanning all the time, and I've got my criteria programmed in as to what the scanner is looking for, and it's going to be triggered right here. We see alert description. It's going to trigger alerts based on what I have set for my scanner to look for. So you'll see the same stock many times, because a lot of times, like for instance, MYO, if the stock is crossing above open, which is one of my indicators here, one of my criteria, then it's also running up. So running up would be greater than 5 cents in less than 1 minute. It just depends on, and I change these settings around from time to time. This is just what they are right now. So as you toggle them differently, you can kind of narrow it in, and I can narrow it down to where this was not constantly spitting out the same stocks, to where it just shows one here and there. But I like it this way. I like it to be constantly popping up with different indicators, and sometimes I don't even read what the indicator is here, what the alert is. Sometimes I'm just looking and seeing that MYO has popped up a whole bunch of times really quickly here, and then I'm thinking, oh, it's on the move. So that's really what it is. That's really what the scanner's doing, and the point of it is just to say, hey, I'm on the move over here, check me out. So I'll be looking and see MYO a bunch of times, so then I'll click on it. And then as soon as it comes up, I'm going to have it on the 1 minute time frame, and that is because I want to see what the move is right now that's triggering all those alerts. So for instance, this one, I'm going to have it pop up, and what am I thinking? I'm just going to kind of think out loud. So when I see this, right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, it's up 20%. As of right now, it's up 20% on the day. I'm going to see that the range that it's been up to almost $7, and it's been as low as $5 basically if you look at the low. So the range is between $5 and $7. I'm going to look right here where the stock is currently, and my thoughts are going to initially be we're underneath VWAP. That's something that jumps out to me right away because I typically am going long. I do short sometimes, but I prefer to go long on these low flow momentum stocks. So when I see this, it pops up, I'm gonna say, okay, it's under VWAP. That's not ideal for my particular style of trading and what I like, my setups and my preferences. I would prefer to go long when it's above VWAP. It doesn't mean I never go long under VWAP, but it's just more likely that I would go long above VWAP. A VWAP, when you're above VWAP, longs are more in control. The bulls kind of have more control. Shorts are typically a little more underwater, and vice versa. So it's just a little bit stronger sign of strength if the stock is remaining above VWAP, especially late into the day like we are right now. So it's going to jump out at me that, hey, this is under VWAP. Not ideal. I'm also going to look and see that we are above the 200 moving average, which is the white line right here on my screen, and above the 50 moving average, which is the blue line that I'm seeing right here. I'm doing all of this, by the way, in a matter of seconds, because once you get good at it, this is the stuff that just stands out, and you can tell within seconds if yes, I want to trade it, or no, I don't. But right now I'm just kind of speaking out loud and walking through what my mindset is. So I'm going to look at this under VWAP. I'm going to see that out of the gate right here, it opened over here at 9:30, which would be right here. So I'm going to see that as it opened out of the gate, shot up just a little bit, then went back down, then had a nice sign of strength because it came back up through the 200 and the 50 and VWAP, shot all the way through that, came back down to VWAP, and this would have been a decent trade right here for a VWAP bounce. You could have bought as it got down here to VWAP and then showed strength, and then bounced off VWAP and went all the way up to a high of 618. And if you had bought the VWAP bounce, you would have bought it somewhere in the 570 range when VWAP held. So as you can see, that would have been a nice 50 cents or so per share gain. Nice little scalp, a nice little scalp winner there. So that's one idea. That's something I would see. And then I would see that it lost all of its gains and came right back down, broke through VWAP, the 50 and the 200. And then I would see that it had strength again and shot all the way back up through all that. And this time it even made a new high of day. It ripped all the way past that high, and it did slow down just a little bit and consolidate, but then it ultimately ripped past and went all the way to that $7, almost $7. So that's a good thing there, and this would be another trade that I might take if you're looking for possible trades to take. I might have taken this here because I would see that it had already ripped up once. It had come all the way back down, which shows weakness. I don't like that very much, but then I would see that it has ripped back through the 200 to 50 and tested VWAP, came back down, but the 50 held in this situation, and then it went ahead and ripped back through VWAP. And as it got back through VWAP, this is a somewhat higher odds play, something that I like to do, which is I call the VWAP break. And in a ideal scenario, I like to see things get confirmed. So this breaking VWAP here, then coming back down and holding the 50, then getting back and breaking it again. So we've got the break of VWAP, then we've got it holding, but it did break, and then we've got the 50 holding, and we have it breaking through again, and this is the confirmation here. As it gets past this previous high, this would be a spot to take a long. So you'd be taking a long right here at around 582, 583, somewhere in there, wherever you get filled. And then I would be looking to take part of it off at high of day, which would be right here. So you'd be scalping from 580, 582-ish, and then looking to get out just underneath high of day with part of the position. So just under 618, sorry. So you'd be looking at roughly 40 cents or so per share, somewhere in the 40 cents, depending on where you get filled and where you get filled here. I would take part of the position off there, and then I would hold the rest to see if it can get a nice breakout. In this case, it did have a nice breakout, and it continued up. And then you would be looking for a profit target based on a little bit of a longer range chart. You would look at the daily chart or the several days worth of charts here. So if we looked right here, we would see there was a little bit of resistance at the 570 range, but at that point, like we just saw, we would have been beyond that. We would have been in the 580s when we entered the trade. So if we were looking for a higher price target than the 618 high of day, we would have to go out farther. And let's see what we got here. Looks like this area here, we got 580. Trying to see what the highs were way back here. This one here was 560. That's not right. I'm not sure why they're saying 550s. Yeah. So none of that would have worked as an area of support. So really, I would be looking at this, and I would say there doesn't appear to be any well-defined support or resistance. Not support. Sorry, misspoke there. I don't see well-defined resistance, meaning I wouldn't really see much of a price target. So I would have probably got out of part of the position, probably about half the position I would have sold at high of day. Why do I do that? Because assuming that it gets rejected here, then I would be locking in some profits, and then as it gets rejected, I could take the rest off if it looks like it's not going to break out. And it's just a way of locking in profits and then minimizing risk in case it gets rejected at the high of day. So then the other half I would have held, and I would have just kind of watched. In this situation here where it went up a lot, I probably would have been, since I got in around 580-ish, I would definitely be looking to get out at 680-ish, because that would be $1 a share gain, which is very good. I'd be very happy with that. And it did, in this case, get above that briefly. So, and then of course, had it hit that and had this nice long topping wick, and then pulled back and you get these big red candles, I would have definitely been getting out if it was on the backside of the move. I would have taken the profit and got out right there. So anyway, would have been a pretty nice trade there as well. Had a couple different opportunities, just kind of trying to show you kind of my mindset on what I would be looking for. But as far as right now, when this pops up on my scanner and what I'd be looking at, I would see all that, and I would say, hey, it didn't hold its gains very good, meaning that it has sold back down. It popped up and popped up, sold down, popped up, sold all the way back down, popped up, sold all the way back down. So basically every time it's popped up, it's sold down, which I like to call heavy. I like to say that means the stock is heavy. That's my terminology for it. It means that it, in my mind, it's not holding gains very well. So these are all things that are factoring in to my mindset. I'd be thinking it's under VWAP. The stock is heavy because it doesn't hold its gains very well. So I'm thinking it's probably not something I'm as likely to take a long position on. And I would be looking right here and seeing that it's got a decent amount of resistance where it's not been able to break past any of these levels here. And then over here, same thing. Multiple times it's hit that area and bounced off. almost bounced off the 200 here several times, but over here we are above the 200 and above the 50. But we do see resistance in this range several different times. So I'd be looking kind of at this area here. Is it going to get past this? Is it going to get past this area here? So ultimately what I would be thinking is I'm not going to trade this. So that's my mindset. That's me trying to walk you through. I know that was a little bit long-winded, but just trying to walk you through my mindset, what I'm thinking when I first click on a stock that pops up on my scanner. In real time, within a matter of seconds, I'm thinking all of those things. So just to sum it up, right off the bat, if I was looking at this, I would be thinking we're under VWAP, we're above the moving averages, but we're under VWAP. We have a stock that is heavy, that's sold all the way back down and has not held its gains well today, and we're late in the day looking to get close to close. So not something I'm very interested in with those things in mind. For me to get interested, I would probably have to see it break VWAP again. If it would break VWAP at this point in time, late in the day, because we're in power hour going close to close, as you can see down here. 3 o'clock my time is market close because I'm in Central Time. So I would be thinking it's hitting the scanner, but there's nothing really there. It would have to get beyond VWAP before I would really think, hey, this thing is strong into close. Might be a spot to take a scalp. So this would be a no for me. I would right off the bat be thinking, nope, don't see the pattern I like. I'm not into it. And as you can see, it's selling off, and this is what I would be afraid of if I had bought it this late in the day. Because of it being heavy, I would be worried it would sell off. It may, we'll see. Then I'd be, let's see, same idea. If we had FTEK pop up on the scanner, okay, my first thoughts on this would be kind of similar. I would see that it was halted here. I would see that at 9:30, which is right here, right out of the gates, this thing went gangbusters and went all the way from basically $1 to $2. So we had basically 100% gain right here just in a matter of minutes. I would see that. And of course, we're talking about if I clicked on it off my scanner right now and the stock's over here. So I'd be seeing that. You know, it's got the potential to really move, but I would see that again we're back underneath VWAP. We're back under the 200. The 200 has acted as resistance several times today. So I would be seeing that. This, and I would be thinking, okay, the 200 has been resistance multiple times and we're still underneath that. We are above the 50, but we're under the 200. And again, under VWAP, and I don't see anything curling. I don't see it showing some crazy sign of strength right now. So I would be thinking we would have to get past the resistance that is the 200 and these key areas here. And if we did that, then I would be thinking, let's say that it curls up and gets past this resistance and past the 200. And then I would be worried about, there's quite a bit of consolidation here with a decent amount of volume, and then we have some peaks here. So I would be thinking, okay, if we get past all that, is it really worth a scalp at that point? Because you're only going to be moving from somewhere in the 140s by the time I got filled for a breakout past these levels to getting out possibly at the 150 range because of where the resistance is, and then we'd have the VWAP above that at around 161. So ultimately I'd be thinking this is a pass. That's another one that I would pass on. I would not be looking to go long because I don't see a pattern that I like, and because the potential is just not really there. If we break the key levels of resistance and the 200, there's just not that much room to go up. So to me, not really worth my while. I don't see the risk reward not really in my favor in that situation. So that would be a no as well. Then I would, let's see what we got. PSHG. Okay, it's another one. Very similar. Looks like we got a lot of them today. Which happens, you know, quite a bit where you get stocks that do kind of the same pattern. Looks like we got another one that rocketed up. This one was before market open, because market open should be right here. Yes. So rocket right out of the gate with market open, but not too far, just barely breaking VWAP, and then just nothing but fade pretty much all day. So if I was looking at this, same thing. Of course, we're over here, so I would click on that as it popped up on my scanner. I'd click on it, and I would say, again, here we are. It basically was a rocket that faded all day. We're under the 50, we're under the 200, we're well below VWAP, and nothing I'm going to see there that's going to be much of a pattern. I would say that don't see any signs of strength and don't see any kind of recognizable pattern that I'd be interested in going long on. IMRN just popped up. This one, I would say, okay, we had one little moment of strength. Looks like we popped way up immediately in pre-market on some news, and then it's just faded all throughout pre-market and then into the morning. And I would say, okay, out of nowhere, for whatever reason, we got a little bit of volume and we made it through the 200 and through VWAP, rocketed all the way back up here and got halted. That's what this line right here is. It's a volatility halt. So I would see that, and then I would say, okay, right out of the halt, it dropped. So not really a good sign of strength when as soon as it comes out of the halt, it's just dropping right back down and goes back under VWAP. So I would see this and say, hey, we're above the 200, but we're below the 50, and we're below VWAP, and there's not really any kind of a pattern I'm seeing here. So that's another one that we'd be looking at and saying, no, not going to do that. Let's see. Well, yeah, it could be it. I was trying to find one that didn't have volume and see if you could see that. Let's look and see what else is hot today that we can pull up. We have, let's see, FPRX. I don't think I've done that one. FPRX. This is one that's popping up on my MarketWatch scanner, which looks like this. If you're trying to find stocks to trade and you do not have a scanner, you can use a free screener. The difference between a scanner and a screener is obvious. A scanner is scanning the market all the time and showing you things that pop up that are in your criteria, and a screener is going to just show what the stocks you've screened out just this one time when you click the button. So FPRX, FTEK, and TCON is the ones that are being picked up by my criteria. Of course, this is my criteria that I put in, but you can go to MarketWatch and you can change your own criteria, and then you can screen your own stocks out and find stocks to trade. So it's really handy if you're what?
Hi.
What's up? You need something? I'm making a video.
No.
Okay.
Hi.
Thank you. Please be quiet. FPRX, FTEK, and TCON are the three that are popping up on that screener. And anyway, this is a screener that you guys can use if you don't have a scanner on your platform, or you don't have a good platform, whatever. Then you can go to MarketWatch or FinViz or a number of different places, and you can screen your own criteria to find the stocks that are hot that day or what you're looking for to trade. So anyway, that is what that is. I just thought I'd show it to you in case you guys don't have that. FPRX. So there we have it. This is one that's a little bit more expensive. That might be why it didn't pop up on my scanner. I think I've got my scanner right now set to find lower price stocks, so that could be why, or it could be a little bit of a bigger float. That might also be why. But anyway, sometimes like I said, I look at screeners because there are times where my scanner is not finding much of anything, so then I'll go ahead and look to some of the screeners or scanner on another platform to try to find something that this one might have missed if I don't see anything to trade. So FPRX we have here, and if I pulled it up like this, I would immediately say, okay, it's almost $18. That's a little bit more expensive than I would like. I'm trying to trade cheaper stocks, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I would say that, hey, it's gone up quite a bit, but for the most part, this thing was up to almost $27, and now it's down at 18. So we're down a long ways from its highs, and we are again under VWAP, under the 200, but we are above the 50, and it's kind of, in a way, just kind of walking right along the 50 here. So anyway, no pattern that's very exciting there either. So we're not seeing a whole lot for patterns that excite me. And this one doesn't even really have anything. This would have been a good short. Maybe up in here if you'd shorted it, or at market open if you had watched it open up and drop, then curl back up and break VWAP, but it wasn't able to hold that. So as it came back down through VWAP, that could have been a good spot to short. Little scalp on the short side from 22.30 or 22.20, somewhere in there, and then it actually got halted on the way down, which would be great if you're shorting it and you're holding it and it gets halted on the way down. That's a good feeling, because the odds are in your favor it's going to drop out of the halt, and it did. So anyway, could have been all the way from 22.50 or 23, somewhere in that range, and then all the way down to 18.30 or so before you really would have gotten worried. You would have really had no reason to cover until that point, because it really didn't even have a bounce anywhere until it got all the way down here. So that would have been a nice $4 a share short position there. But other than that, I don't really see any setups that I like very much on that. And if I were to click on that out of the gate from the scanner here, nothing I would have liked to see. MYO popping up again, so it looks like MYO is still hanging tough. So if I'm looking at this now, I would be thinking it's only 3 minutes till the bell, so not something I'm going to trade. But I would be thinking, hey, it's hanging around. It's up roughly 20% on the day, and it's hanging around. It hasn't gone all the way back where it came from. Let's see what it was at yesterday. So yesterday, pretty similar actually. So it kind of went up to almost a similar level, and then pulled all the way back down, consolidated. Now we've got kind of a similar thing today, where it goes up, comes back down, and has been consolidating. So as far as which direction this is going, I wouldn't be surprised to see this head up again, because the last couple of days it's had a history of a few times going up and then fading back down. And the way that it's coiling now, we've kind of got this W-shaped deal going on here, and then it's kind of coiling right here, which means that it's consolidating and kind of trading in this tight little range. So if it can break past this resistance right here, we might be able to see it skyrocket quick to at least VWAP, and then maybe even higher. We just have to wait and see. But being as we're only 1 minute till the bell, kind of unlikely that it does a whole lot, but you never know. Maybe after hours, maybe in the morning, we'll see. But we'll also have to see how the rest of the market plays out, and if it's going to drag it down with it, or what actually happens. But if there are no other factors that come in, I wouldn't be surprised at this point, just because of how it's coiling, if we get a little bit of a move out of it. But again, nothing as far as patterns go that I would say is a jump on me and buy me right now type of pattern. So anyway, that's kind of all I got. I'm gonna end this video. Got other stuff I gotta do. Gotta get the kiddos, and I got a meeting this afternoon, so I gotta get the kiddos over to the babysitter, and then I gotta get a meeting. So yeah, gonna have to get off here, but that's my mindset. Just kind of wanted to walk you through my mindset, a couple of pattern type things that I'm looking for throughout the day, every day, and my mindset when stuff is hitting the scanner and I click on it, and in real time, within seconds, everything that I've just explained, this is what traders are doing. You know, in a matter of seconds. The more experience you get, the better you get. The more you've been doing this, the more seat time you have, and staring at charts till your eyes bleed, as Tim Bowen would say. Once you've been doing that for long enough, it's just like second nature, where you click on that stock in the scanner there, and within seconds you're like, oh nope, nothing there. I don't see anything there. I'm going to trade. You know, within seconds, oh nope, not going to trade that under VWAP. It's not going to work. No pattern. I'm liking there. So it becomes like second nature to just, as soon as you click on it, it'll hit you if you see something or don't see something. And that's the status that you're trying to get to, is to where everything like that just comes naturally. And then you'll kind of fall into your groove on your style and what you like to trade as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you watching and all the support. Make sure you comment down below, like, subscribe if you haven't already, all that great stuff. I really appreciate it. So does my family, like my little crazy kids that were peeking in the door there saying hi. You know, we all appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. Have a great evening. If you made it this far, first of all, I just want to say I love you. You must have liked the video, so make sure you give me that thumbs up, subscribe, notifications on, of course, and then click on one of my videos to the side. If the YouTube algorithm is doing its job, there should be one over there. If not, just go to my page and check it out. Thanks for watching. Peace.